Hey, so I got a comment on my video that went up yesterday, and I wanted to read the comment and just talk about what's going on in this comment, because I think this is where a lot of people are. And as always, I think it's a matter of perceiving the situation, correctly or productively or whatever. So here is the comment. I guess I'm struggling with the whole setting the intention and letting go thing. I feel this huge resistance toward my desire, so much so that I've kept myself from all attempts of manifesting it, like living in the end or trying to feel peace around it. I have set this block in front of me and have told myself that unless I resolve these issues, I can't even pay attention to my desire. But then it initiates anxiety because somehow I feel that whatever solution I'm looking for is going to take time, and by then it will be too late. Here's where I'm struggling with the setting intention part. Every day I set the intention to have all my resistance resolved and get me into alignment with my desire, but it doesn't seem to be working. Sometimes I mention a specific issue that I think is causing the resistance. Sometimes it's more general. Sometimes I feel good around one issue and start to believe it's working, but I run into another resistance right after and lose all the progress. I seem to be stuck on some vague idea of how the intention thing is supposed to be working and can't allow the solution to come to me. At this point, I myself have become the resistance. I feel extremely overwhelmed. This video kind of does answer my question. The video that I put up yesterday was saying, one problem, one solution is from A Course in Miracles. Your problem is that you are misperceiving the world, and the solution is a miracle, which is a shift in perception given to you by divine intelligence, or whatever you think of as being the thing that manifests everything for you, or that, puts together all the pieces of your manifestation. It's as if my whole being is protesting against anything that might lead me a step towards having my desires fulfilled. What should I do? So the first thing that stood out about this to me is hold on. It was good. I have set this block in front of me and have told myself that unless I resolve these issues, I can't even pay attention to my desire. So what this is telling me is that there's, I think, a confusion about what's going on. You have a thing that you want, but there's a whole bunch of things that you feel stand in the way of you getting that thing. I think the average manifestation person on YouTube or Neville Goddard subreddit poster would say, that's just an idea. This idea that you have these things that you have to resolve before you get the thing, that's just limiting beliefs. That's just you placing a limit on yourself. All you have to do is just say, these things don't matter. I can have what I want. And that is probably true. Here's the thing. The phrasing of this, even, I've put this thing that I've said, you have to get this thing done before you can have this thing. What that tells me is what you actually want is not the desire. It's the resolution of all the things that you have placed between you and the desire. That's what you actually want. That's why you put them there. You basically, the phrasing of this is like, I must resolve this issue with myself before I get the good thing on the other side of it. So you're using the desire as a carrot on a stick, because what you really want is to get over this stuff that you have going on mentally or whatever. I don't know what the issues are, but I found this to be true for myself forever, for like, whatever. When did I start wanting to date, and when did I get over this? 25 years. I always said, I can't have the relationship I really want until I resolve all of my issues about myself and my body and my weight. Well, no, at the time it was, I can't have that until I weigh a certain amount. It wasn't until I actually weighed that certain amount that everything changed, that all of a sudden, I could see clearly about the relationship thing. But what I really wanted, I wanted to resolve the weight thing way more than I wanted a relationship. Because in the time that I was doing all that stuff, I had plenty of relationships. I had, I got engaged when I was super young to a really great guy. I could have had that. I could have gone on with that relationship. I had 3 other things between that and 40. And it was just like, that was the thing I really wanted. But it was like, I can't have my ultimate romantic fulfillment. I want that really bad, but I can't have that until I resolve these things about myself. So I've experienced that. And I think a good idea is to just separate the two. Forget the desire that you're saying you can't have until you deal with these obstacles. Just shift your attention or shift your intention to the obstacles. And, from what's being said in this comment, my phone is being a total jerk right now. From what's being said in it, you're kind of in the thick of it. It's like you're in the thick of it. You're in the middle of it. This confusion and feeling like you're spinning your wheels and stuff is part of it. It's part of the process, because can you say no progress has been made truly? I mean, you might be saying, well, if the objective is Z and I'm saying X and Y have to be taken care of first, I've made no progress towards Z. Z is in the exact same place that it was. But when it comes to all these other things, whatever these obstacles are that you've set between you and the thing, are they truly where they were when you started? I mean, I can tell you factually they're not, because one, you're aware of them. Two, you're setting intentions about them. You're exploring them. So you're not in the same place that you were. You are making progress. I just, on the way over here, actually, while I was driving over here to the parking lot by Panera where I make my videos these days, when I was driving over here, I happened to, there was a YouTube video suggested to me from somebody I've never seen before, and it was called like Surviving the Dip or something. Or no, I think she said, I almost quit YouTube and now I have over 100,000 subscribers. That was the title. And she's holding up and because of this book or whatever, and she's holding up The Dip by Seth Godin, who without serendipitously stumbling upon Seth Godin's permission marketing, I don't even remember how I came across that book. I swear I would not have a business right now, because the whole first half of the time I had a business, we sold entirely through a permission-based mailing list, meaning people would come onto our website. I would have a free information. They opt into a mailing list to get that free thing, and then they stay on the mailing list, and you nail them with an email as often as you can stomach. For me, that's every single day. Without that, we wouldn't have had a business until 2016. But anyway, the point is, I was like, Seth Godin has a new book. I haven't heard of it. This person's holding it up. They're saying they almost quit YouTube until they read it. So I listened to this video on the way over, and the basic gist of it is that whenever you have something that you're doing that's worthwhile, like building a business, or in this case, and I think even more worthwhile, getting through these big hurdles with changing yourself, getting, realizing I have a whole bunch of misorientations to my life that are making me miserable, and I know they need to change, but I don't know how to change them. Or I want something, but I want these things to be resolved before I go and move into the phase where I am pursuing this desire, like this commenter was saying. I wish I knew what the obstacles were. I wish I knew what the exact details were. But that basically, anytime you're doing something like that, you're going to hit a point where it seems like nothing's happening. You're going to hit a point where, if it's something worthwhile, like you're going to get to a point where it feels like you're doing a lot of work and you're spinning your wheels. Like for me with this channel, whatever, actually now is kind of, I think somebody said yesterday, I can't believe you only have 15,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Sometimes I hit a point with this channel where I'll get no subscribers for an entire month. The subscriber count is, I lose as many as I gain. And that's that can be really just but the good thing about being in these periods of time where you're in the dip, that's what it is, basically. Seth Godin's saying you have to go through this period of time where your chart is like this, and then you shoot up. Eventually you hit it, and you get really successful. During that dip period, a lot of good stuff happens. During this period where you're like, ugh, I'm overwhelmed, I'm trying too hard, I'm trying all this stuff, nothing's working. What's great about it is it's prompting you to find what works. And when you find the things that work, which is what the outcome of this dip period is, you're equipped. You take off when you hit the right things, you take off, and then you have all the tools you need to be successful moving forward. It's like this necessary period of sort of letting things fall into place. And this comment, which I read yesterday and decided I wanted to make a video about, and then just happened to listen to this video about the dip, this comment sounds a lot like that to me. The first thing I thought is, you're in the thick of it. And here's the thing. Another thing from this, I ordered the dip book, but just listening to this video on the way over there. Another thing, Seth Godin was saying is, sometimes you want to quit. Like sometimes it's a good idea to quit, and successful people know when to quit. And I didn't really listen to the qualifiers for that, because I can tell you this firsthand. If you think about just quitting what you're doing, is that an option? Like, is that something that you'd be okay doing? I think it's really important whenever you're, I want to say fixated, but whenever you become like really deeply embroiled in a pursuit, even mental pursuits like this, there should be a feeling there, like, especially when you get to this dip thing, if there's not like instant success with something, you've really got to stop and evaluate and say, is this something I really want to pursue? Is this something I really want to keep doing? It's looking like there is work that needs to be done. I either don't have a skill that I need in order to be successful at this. That's usually what it is in some form or another. Like with this comment, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. There's going to be trial and error work to figure this out. You know what I mean? There's going to be a period of discomfort where you have an intention and it doesn't feel like the intention is yielding anything. Is this something that you really want to keep doing? And if the answer is yes, if you feel it in your gut, like if you imagine abandoning whatever it is that you're pursuing, and it really makes you just feel kind of crestfallen, I think that's the perfect word. If you're just like, really? Like, no. I mean, honestly, if you can bring yourself to abandon something, I'm not sure it's worth doing. So I think that's a good, sort of a way to measure where you are with this. If you're in the middle of something and you're feeling like this, is quitting an option for you? Like, is that something that you think you would feel better if you did? And the only reason that you're continuing is that you've already put in so much work. After I started the current business that I have, which was 2010, there was literally never one moment through the whole thing, through all the struggles, through times where there was like business dropping, through times where I wasn't getting any subscribers to my mailing list, to times where I couldn't get Facebook ads to work, times where I couldn't find enough products to sell, where we had problems with employees. There was never a moment in there anywhere where it was ever an option considered in any way to give up. Like it was never going to happen. Like this thing was going to work, and it was never going to happen that I was going to give up on it, because it was just something I was going to do, and I knew it was going to work. I knew it was just a matter of finding, getting through the dip. I would say my business is quite officially through the dip. The dip, there was like the hard work of figuring out how to do it, probably from 2010 to 2015. During those years, my business partner Jean and I worked a ton physically, like doing all the jobs ourselves. We hired some people in there, here and there, but mostly we did everything. And we didn't know what we were doing. And we did a lot of dumb stuff. We missed a lot of opportunities because we weren't experienced. And so, it was slow growing. We barely had enough, like after 4 years. We bought a house finally after 4 years. And it took that long to be at that point where we could even where Jean could qualify. I was like, my credit was still destroyed at that point. Where Jean could qualify based on the income that we were showing from the business, where he could even qualify for a mortgage. And where we had enough for like a down payment and stuff. So there was a slog in there. And then between like 20 2015 and 2017, it was sort of like another dip period where business started slowly dropping off. January is like a huge month for us, and January 2016 was awful. I could not believe how little business we got, and I was just like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Oh God, I'll never forget this. Jean's mom had passed away in December, and he didn't tell me any of this. I mean, he told me that she passed away, but he didn't tell me that she had left him a little bit of money, like $25,000 or something like that. And we were having like such a rough time, and I was so like dejected. We had already broken up at this point too. And he just randomly deposited $25,000 into our bank account, our joint account for our business, and just allowed me to discover it. And so I opened the bank account one day, and I see this money in there, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, there's like a random error in our bank account. And I was like, Gene, you have to call the bank. Like, you have to go to the bank. There's some random deposit in here. And he's just standing there. He just starts laughing. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, oh, it's my mom's IRA. I just got it and I just put it in there. And so, that was sort of like a little boost during that dip period. And that little cash injection, I'm going to talk about something else in a minute too, because this just happened to me again. This little cash injection like freed me from the state that I was in. And I just said, okay, what are we doing? What do we have to do? What are we like not doing? And for some reason, I had not been using Facebook ads. I had been using Google ads, and they were, bringing in some business and stuff. But I was like, man, I've never wanted to advertise on Facebook. I don't remember why. I maybe tried it a little bit or something, and it didn't work. And I'm like, you know what? We have to figure out the advertising. It's our only prayer. Like, that's what we have, it's the only way we're going to get people. So that little dip period prompted me to, through trial and error and wasting a lot of money that thankfully was available. Thanks Maria, Jean's mom. Because of that, we had a little bit of, leeway to fail and figure it out. And that's exactly what happened. We figured out Facebook advertising. We also, we started getting more and more people in onto our mailing list, which is how the whole way we'd been running it before, just through the mailing list, which is insane. And yeah, that was a way that we burst through the dip. And then after that, it kind of took off. By 2017, it was like the best year we'd ever had. And then it just shot up. And then we had a year where we did I think 2017, we did like over $1 million in business, which was something that I had my sights on, just $1 million in like gross coming in. I just want to see that number. And, since then it's just taken off more. So, it's like those periods of being in the dip, prompt you to figure it out. And that's like this comment, like you're in the thick of it. It's like everything in here is, I've set my I'm setting intentions, and doesn't seem to be resolving it. It's possible that you're missing some things that are trying to come to you, some information that's trying to come to you. It's possible that you're still feeling kind of unwilling to dude, there is a bird stuck in the fence right in front of me. Sorry, I think I'm gonna have to go try to rescue this bird. Anyway, whatever. It's possible that, you have something that you're not willing to look at, that is part of the obstacle. That can be really tough. And these things will unravel naturally, I think. But yeah, I'm going to have to make another video about this thing I wanted to talk about because, man, I had such a crazy day yesterday, and it was just proof to me that the shift in state will produce all kinds of like crazy, shocking things. So I'm going to make another video about that. I'm just going to leave this one where it is. It's already 20 minutes long anyway, but, yeah, when you are in the middle of something and you feel like you want to give up, just ask yourself, am I in the dip? Am I in the period of time where, I've had a little initial interest and success, and now I have to do the part where like I sit through the figuring out period. You know what I mean? Eventually you'll get to the point where things are figured out and you have the tools you need, and then this stuff becomes easy. But in the meantime, you've got to be at the point where you figure stuff out. You got to be at the point where the tools that you need come to you over time. And you have different insights and stuff like that. And it can be long and tedious, and, you know, without the right attitude, it can be pretty disheartening sometimes. You know, I could feel it in this comment. I would recommend that you take a few minutes today to do something that you like to do, where you just say, you know what, not only is it safe for me not to think about these problems right now, I must take a break from this. I have to take a break from this. It will benefit me. So for the next hour, I'm just going to take a break from, you know, even noticing or thinking about the things that aren't working for me right now. Okay, I've really got to go get this bird. Okay, I will make another video about the other thing, and that will be next, because I'm making a video on this channel every day this year. And hopefully, you know, I'm trying not to allow any of it to just be like total freaking garbage. So that's my requirement. When I set that intention, I was like, I'm making a video every day this year, but it has to be, you know, it has to at least be to the level everything else on this channel is, or why would I even do it? Would be the point of that. It's not like I don't know that if I, you know, it's not like I'm like, ooh, do I have the discipline to pull out my phone and talk about a bunch of garbage for 10 minutes every day? No, obviously I have the ability to do that. The setting of the intention to make a video every day was to actually come up with it, you know, and get something out there that might resonate with somebody. Someone also asked me, are you just trying to grow your channel? No. In fact, I was just thinking about this also when I was listening to that video. I don't just want this channel to grow. I don't want this channel to get to 100,000 subscribers. I don't just want that. Or I'm quite certain I could have done that by now. I want to get 100,000 subscribers on this channel, making videos exactly like this, where all I do is comment on something from inside my car at whatever time of day it is, with no makeup on except for a little bit of mascara. I don't want to have to dress up and make a set. Fuck that. This is just like my business. I was like, you know what? I don't want to have a business that ever has phone customer service. How absurd is that? How many businesses do you know that have a decent, you know, that are a decent size that you can't call and talk to anybody? I might be the only one I've ever heard of. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care if we grow half as quickly. That's one of the conditions that I want. So, anyway, okay, got to get this bird. Have a good day.